Hello there, you're watching SME On Point. My name is Liabo Setho. Thank you so much for joining us here on the SABC News channel. Small businesses play an important role in South Africa's economy. They create employment opportunities as well as community development. However, many businesses often face funding challenges, making it so hard for them to contribute effectively to the economy. But what happens to those businesses that have secured funding and the funding has enabled them to expand and make a great impact? Today we are focusing on at least one of those businesses that have received support from the Gauteng Enterprise Propeller, the GEP. They've provided them with funding. This funding has enabled them to grow, overcome challenges and contribute significantly to their communities. We are joined today in studio by business owner Mr. Rodney Madua. He's the founder of Madua Paint. Mbangiseni, thank you so much for joining us on SME On Point. We really love having you here. Tell us about Madua Paint. How did it come about, and what kind of paint do you manufacture? Yes,
thank you so much for having me. Madua Paint World was started, actually it was registered in 2013. The time when I registered it was after I've completed my BSc in chemistry. And then it was the time when I was working in the corporate, because I started my journey in the corporate, where I was working actually I started as a paint technician until I became a paint specialist. And then during the time, and then I decided, actually even during the time while I was still studying at university, I always told myself that I'm not going to be working for a very long time. I gave myself a minimum of 5 years, that I'm only going to work for 5 years, and then after 5 years, I need to be full-time at my business. And then in 2013, I started my business while I was still working. And then I was able to grow a business, because the business was started in Chochanguve in a 5 square meter shack. And then in 2019, that's why I decided to leave my job to focus in my company full-time.
Were you not scared? Because I know that a lot of people, they really become nervous when it's time to leave, even though you had given yourself 5 to 8, maybe 5 to 6 years to be in the workplace. But when the time comes, and the time comes to say, hey, it's time now to open your own doors, and you start getting anxiety and you pull back on that plan.
Yeah, actually for me also, and then it was very difficult, but at the time, I had 2 properties that that I've bought, and then I was paying them through the salary that I was getting from my employer, and I also had 2 cars that I was paying. It was difficult, but what I told myself was that if I don't leave now, it will even be difficult in the future for me to leave. And then luckily I had a very supporting family that when I told them that I'm going to leave my job, and then all of them, they supported me, and then
did you have a starting capital, or did you directly go to GP, or did you have your own capital stashed up somewhere? How did that work out?
Yeah, actually when I started, I remember when I was in university, I've tried maybe different government agencies, but they were not able to assist me. When I told myself is that I want to get a permanent job. As soon as I got my permanent job, I went to the to the bank. It was in 2012, and then I started to work. And then in 2013, I get a permanent job. I went and get a 30,000 rand loan. And then through the 30,000 rand loan, that's when then I started the business.
So brave.
Yes.
And then that's how the whole funding came up with. Do you remember the biggest mistake you made with that loan in the business, or the financial mistake that you made in that business? The reason I'm asking that is because we don't talk enough about the financial mistakes we make as we establish our businesses. Do you have any?
Yeah, actually, when I was starting, I think maybe it was easy for me, because I knew what I really want. And then all the money that I got from the loan, and then I invested it into buying the equipment, especially the one that I got from the bank. And then also from that time, also even the savings that I was getting from that I was keeping, all the money I went and put it into the business. And also even when I left my job, because I had some money that I got, all those money, and then I took them and then I put them into the business. The only mistake that I've started to notice is when now the business is starting to grow. But by that time, that's when now I noticed that I need other people with different skills. That's when then we started to grow, like having an accountant, ensuring that we have all different skills that we need. Because myself, I'm a scientist, and then I knew a lot about in the terms of formulation and everything. But when it reached a time that I saw that now from this point and I need assistance from other people, and then that's when then I started to hire other people to come and assist. Yeah.
Wow. Let's talk about your journey with the GP. How did you know about them? How much did you get from them? How did you use them? And how did it enable you to grow the business?
Actually, the GEP, I only knew them around 2023. Yeah. 2023, and then it was through the government. I mean, through the Gauteng Department of Economic Development. But there was some work that we were doing, and then I was told about the GEP, and that's when then I went and then applied for the funding. And then the main thing when we went to GEPs, it was that we wanted to increase our capacity. At the time before we went to GEP, our capacity, it was very low, and then by that time, and then when they gave us a loan, and then we were able to invest it into the equipment, and then some of the equipment, because I remember there was a time when we didn't have some laboratory equipment. We didn't even have our biggest mixing machine was around, it was to manufacture around 200 liters at once, but now through the GP, and then we have the equipment that we can manufacture at least 1,000 liters at once, and that came very handy. And then also the other thing that we also did through the GEP is that we are also starting to manufacture our own emulsion.
What is emulsion?
Yeah, actually emulsion is the main component that is used into the manufacturing of paint. 30 to 60% of paint is made of emulsion. And then we invested some of this money into buying the equipment, and then now and then we'll be manufacturing our own.
That enabled you for new product development as well. Well done. Let's talk about the market. There's so many paint manufacturers that I and here on SME On Point we've spoken to. How's the market and how's the competition out there? How are you staying above water?
I think us from our side, the competition is very tough, because actually there are a lot of other businesses that maybe they're not regulated, that people, they just come and start to sell. But from our side, what we have done is that especially with my background in chemistry, what we do is that we don't just sell paint, but what we do is that we sell the solutions. We have a special team in our business that we call defect detection department. In the defect detection department, what we do is that we have a paint specialist that if a person wants to paint their houses, they will come and do inspection, and then from there they will be able to advise, okay, what problem are they facing, and then what other problem that they can face in the future. And then after that, they will draw a plan in terms of how we are going to fix it, and that plan will be given to our application team, because we also have our own application team that they go and apply. Because what we have done is that because a lot of people that you can go and buy a very expensive paint, but that paint, if it's not used correctly, it won't achieve the desired results. But from our side is that we give you the whole package. We give you the team to apply. We give you the product, and then also then after the project, we cannot say that we cannot blame anyone, because we have given you the whole value chain.
Off studio, but before we came on air, Rodney was telling me about an interesting problem that they are facing as a business right now that has to do with the weather, and that because of the persistent rainfall, so you are seeing a bit of a problem in the business. Educate us about that.
Especially like what we have seen is that over the years is that from November, December, January, but we have a lot of rain during those times, and then our sales normally drops, because people, they are not painting, and then only the job that we can be able to do during those time is only the job that maybe we do them inside, like the interior job. But most of the job that we are doing exterior, those projects, they have to stop, and then also that, and then it does sometimes affect our cash flow, because we find that we have some projects that we have to execute, but because of the rain, and then they take long.
I love your story from where it started to where you are now. I know that there's a lot of SME On Pointers who are probably at the space that you were when you were still working. And as I said earlier on, maybe do not have the courage, and I'd like you to use this last minute that we have together to encourage people about how to go and start getting into business if that is indeed their dream. Let's use this last minute for that.
I think the most important thing, if someone wants to go into business, is that they need to understand in the community where they are living, what problem are they facing, and then they must provide the solution. But the problem with a lot of people is that they just want to start a business because they see a certain industry booming, but from their side they don't have a problem that they are solving. But if you start a business without a problem that you're solving, your business is not going to last.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for those wise words. I've been joined by business owner Mr. Rodney Mbangiseni Madua. He's the founder of Madua Paint, taking us into his world. And they've been funded by the Gauteng Enterprise Propeller. It is a service that is offered by the Gauteng government, and we are doing this interview to let you know that there are businesses that are getting funded and what they are doing with that money, and hopefully you will reach out to them too so that they can fund your dream and your business too. Remember that we are on Facebook. Our Facebook handle is @SME On Point, @SME On Point. And let us know what you think of Madua Paint and this interview, and we are happy to put you in touch with Mr. Mbangiseni to maybe get more about what he said. And with that, remember to support small businesses in your communities, and let's remember to support and make the rands and cents circulate. Goodbye.